What kind of a mount are you looking for? A backyard pet your children can grow up with? Or a reliable trail animal to help you enjoy the high country? Do you love a reining spin or the intricate moves of the dressage arena? Do you long to be flying high on a jump course? Or does driving a Surrey with the fringe on top sound like your cup of tea? Whatever kind of equine companion you're looking for, you'll want one that will perform in a safe, obedient manner. The purpose of these programs is to help you understand mules and donkeys and learn how to handle and train them correctly. Now, we know that not everyone watching owns a mule. Some of you own horses. Well, there's something here for you too. You'll notice that these are simple, easy-to-follow lessons. They're designed to teach you a variety of correct training methods for horses as well as for mules and donkeys. The result? Whether his ears are long or short, you'll have a well-mannered, well-trained animal. This program features segments from an award-winning video series created for the equine industry by acclaimed trainer and educator Meredith Hodges. Because of this, you'll hear occasional references to the videos and also to the workbooks and field cards that are included with the video series. The field cards that come with the videos are a great training tool that can be taken right into the arena. We'll be sure to give you information on the complete training series later in the program. Now let's learn a little about Meredith Hodges and why so many people rely on her as their training consultant.
My wife and I raise donkeys, mules for a hobby, for pleasure. We came across Meredith's video series, and the information is just invaluable. It's far better than going to a seminar because I can view the videos over and over again. But what really sold me was with each video, there's a workbook and a field card that applies to each specific video. I take the workbooks to work with me when I'm working on a specific procedure because I'm just a novice. And then the field cards I can take with me right into the round pen with you while you're working with your animals and having a good time. And that's what Meredith tapes are so specific in understanding your animals. She shows you how to have a good time while you're training your animals so you can have a good time in the saddle, in the field, and enjoy your critters the way it should be. Thanks.
Mules are wonderful animals. They're strong, intelligent, affectionate, with a great sense of humor, and what incredible athletes. But training a mule is different than training a horse. When you're training a mule, you have to take into consideration the donkey half as well as the horse half.
Maintenance and feeding play an important role in your equine's response to training. In this program, we will review these issues before moving on to our programs about driving and donkey training, just in case you missed this program at the beginning of our general equine saddle training programs.
Each week our program covers a different phase of management and training. No matter what kind of equine companion you're interested in, you'll find techniques that will help you reach your training goals and bond with your animal in the process. Just remember, the keys to success are patience, kindness, and understanding.
Owning an animal is a heavy responsibility. This video is designed to give you sound information about this complex job. In general, the principles of good management are the same everywhere, and they apply whether you own one mule or a dozen. Let's start with the basics. Shelter.
Your mule doesn't ask for much in the way of shelter.
Protection from the winter winds, a bit of shade in the summer, and a dry spot out of the rain and snow. A loafing shed in a pasture can accomplish this very easily. The shed doesn't need to be fancy, but it should be well constructed for safety and arranged so it can be kept clean. In Colorado, our pasture sheds face the south for warmth in winter and protection from the wind. For those lucky mules fortunate enough to live in a barn or stable, here are some basic considerations. The size of a box stall should be 10 by 10 to 12 by 12. If you're foaling a mare, a much larger stall is essential. Tie stalls should be no less than 5 feet wide and 12 feet long, including the manger. The ceiling should be at least 8 feet high. Doors need to be 4 feet wide. The stalls should be well lit with lots of fresh air and ventilation. Construct the grain box so it can be readily cleaned and the hay manger so chaff, dirt, and debris can be easily removed. Make sure both feed and water are placed high enough to avoid contamination by manure. Both in the stalls and in the pens, locate the water source far enough away from the hay and grain that it will stay clean and free of debris. The stable floor should be higher than the surrounding area so it will stay dry. The surface might be anything from wooden planks to packed clay, and some people cushion the hard floors with rubber mats. Adding an absorbent surface material will make your mule more comfortable and will help your cleanup chores. It will also make it easier to keep your mule clean. Bedding will vary according to the part of the country you live in, but it should not be dusty, too coarse, or too easily kicked aside. Straw or shavings generally make the best bedding. Shavings should be of pine or other woods non-toxic to equines. Pick your bedding with an eye not only to cost and absorbency, but to compost value also. After all, you've got to do something with that manure you muck out every day, so treat it as a crop that will eventually enrich your pasture or someone's garden. Feed is the most important influence in your mule's health. You feed for many purposes: maintenance, growth, fitting, reproduction, lactation, and work. Hay, grain, pasture, vitamins, minerals, salt, and water must be available in the proper quantity to supply the nutrients needed by your mule. Your job is to plan a feeding program that will furnish all the required nutrients. For now, we'll talk about an average saddle mule. You'll want a good covering of flesh, but not an overly fat body condition. And balance your feeding with exercise to keep the body hard and the mule's muscles in good tone. A healthy, well-fertilized pasture is one of the cheapest and best ways to feed your mule. You can supplement your mule's energy requirements as needed with hay or grain. Mules do quite well on good quality grass hay or an alfalfa grass hay mix. Hay should be early cut, leafy, bright green, fine-stemmed, well-cured, and free from weeds, dust, and mold. Timothy and grass hay are preferred by most horsemen because they are easy to harvest and cure and easily digested. Feed only good quality hays and grains that are free from dust and mold. If dusty hay must be fed, you should sprinkle it with water to keep the dust down.
Colorful Colorado, with its majestic Rocky Mountains and wide open spaces, also boasts the Loveland Long-Ears Museum and Sculpture Park at the Lucky 3 Ranch, home of some of the finest mules and donkeys in the world. This working ranch is just 40 miles north of Denver. World-renowned authority on mules and donkeys, Meredith Hodges, invites you and your family for an adventure in learning you won't want to miss. Come visit the Lucky 3 Ranch, meet Meredith, her champion mules and donkeys, and take in the beauty of her long-ears art for the experience of a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. Equines, like all animals, need clear and consistent leadership. This is especially true when directing your equine through movements. So make those movements straight lines, gradual arcs, and square stops. A person can walk a straight line and do an abrupt turn in a short distance. A four-legged equine will require much more room for the same movement. Make sure there is a 3-minute pause between movements so your equine can mentally process the movement he has just done and then has time to settle. For instance, walk a straight line, then stop. Turn and square up your animal, and then stand with him for 3 minutes. During these 3 minutes, reward him and talk to him. When he's completely relaxed, you can then proceed to the next move. Always look where you are going, match your legs to the front legs of your animal, and then stop with your feet together, and your equine should do the same. You are the role model for your equine. He will mirror what you do. Leading training is much more critical than just teaching your animal to follow. It sets the stage for balance and good posture, which enables your equine to really feel good and to appreciate you for helping him feel that way.
Here's an engineer. How did you know that? So we go see a huge mule. Because this head, you're fine. Just with the hair, that's all you gotta do. Okay, come on, boy, let's go. Come on.
Every owner knows that a well taken care of equine is a happy equine. More and more, a technique being used to enhance our animal's overall conditioning is equine massage.
What you have to realize is you're training an animal in their muscle tissue, and their muscle tissue has to be able to perform the task that you're asking the animal to perform. If you're having a hard time doing the advanced things, you need to go back to the beginning. The massage helps break the pattern of the neurons that fire to that muscle, that tell it to contract, to contract, to contract.
With proper instruction, just about anyone can learn to give their equine the benefit of basic massage.
I've been working on equines for a long time, and a lot of people look at you and hope that you can just come out and make an animal better. And you can't do that. It takes two pieces, the massage as well as the exercise. And the exercise is actually more important than the massage. And that's something that people really have to understand. And Meredith's tapes do that. And a lot of people don't want to take that long a time frame. They just want to do their 60 days, get on the animal and ride them. But that's not really where you can go with their backs.
For more intensive therapeutic massage, be sure to consult a professional. Equine massage not only enhances your animal's health and overall condition, it's also a deeply personal and rewarding bonding experience for both of you.
Many of you who love your horses also love your dogs. This type of massage can be beneficial for all your pets. If you want to improve your animal's quality of life, I can help. I can either teach you how to do it, or I can massage your dogs for you. Contact me at dogmassage.com.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. We have all heard the term desensitizing your equine, but what does that really mean? And is it really a good thing? We all want an equine that handles pressure and unexpected events calmly, safely, and obediently. In order to achieve that, what you actually want to do is to give your animal the right exposure in the correct way. You do not want to numb your equine. Do not place obstacles in his stall or make him live with them. Introduce him to things that may be potentially fearful by turning that fear into curiosity. This gives your equine the tools to cope with those challenges and creates a confident equine who has trust in himself. Take this slowly and be methodical. It is a more humane process that teaches your animal to trust your judgment and teaches you how he experiences sensory challenges.
This approach will keep you safer in the saddle later.
Artwork inspired by mules and donkeys is quickly gaining popularity. Tennessee mule artist Bonnie Shields has the uncanny ability to capture the fun-loving nature of these free-spirited animals.
They were like a horse, but they weren't like a horse. They had a little different body. They used their body a different way. They certainly had a different mental attitude. So they started intriguing me as an artist, and I kept finding the differences between them and the horse, both physically and in their reaction to things. So that started my love affair with the mule. When you deal with the mule, you're not always in charge. So it takes a little bit of a different kind of personality to appreciate the mule and to work with her.
She was the only artist that could really capture the essence of mules and donkeys. Because mules and donkeys are really good teachers and teachers of life lessons. And Bonnie has just been an inspiration to me ever since.
Wow, how'd it do?
Whoa. I know that all through the years, Meredith gives tours to the ranch. But what a wonderful addition to this whole ranch would be a sculpture park just for the mules and the donkeys. So I just thought it was an awesome idea. And then she let me be part of it. It's a wonderful thing, and when you come to visit the Lucky Three, it's just an added bonus. Mule people, you reckon I could get Meredith to make a tape on how to teach your mule to shovel snow? I sure gonna try. Wish me luck.
Just a wonderful human being, and working with her is always humorous. She is just funny as the day is long, and so I thought that she would be absolutely perfect as the illustrator for the Jasper series that I wanted to do.
The Daydreamers was inspired by a thing that I saw years ago. I heard about this family up in Kentucky. They'd been working tobacco out in the field with their mules. And one of the boys, he was laying across this mule's back, laying in the shade. They'd been working, and he was resting on the back of his mule in the shade. That just kind of stuck with me, and I thought, gee, a kid like that, you know, he thinks he's stuck on the farm. He thinks he's stuck doing all this terrible old work, and he's laying up there and he's daydreaming about getting away from it all. So that's where Daydreamer came from. Sculpture's not the only thing I do. Matter of fact, I got into sculpture maybe a little later in my career. Mostly, I was known for my pencil drawings and my acrylic paintings for many, many years.
Long ears art. It may be whimsical, like a cartoon, or it may simply be breathtaking. Long ears are taking their place in the world of art, and it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
In case you haven't guessed, feeding horses and mules is both an art and a science. It is generally recommended to feed about a pound of grass hay for each 100 pounds of weight. When feeding alfalfa hay, cut back to about half that amount. At the Lucky 3 Ranch, our mules only get about 2 pounds of crimped oats a day during the colder months or during training. During the warmer months, or when not in training, they only get 1 pound a day. If you're used to feeding a horse, this might sound inadequate, but mules have different energy requirements than horses. A mule does just fine on less grain, and he won't do well at all on the sweet feeds that horses often eat. A mule can founder on a sweet feed because it's just too hot. Mules and horses are most likely to suffer from a lack of calcium and phosphorus than from any other mineral except salt. One of the best ways to make sure your animal is getting the vitamins and minerals he needs is to feed a good commercial supplement. Also, some people keep a free choice mineral block handy. Salt for a grass-eating animal is more than just a condiment. It's an essential nutrient, and it's almost always deficient. Make sure your mule has free choice to a constant supply of iodized salt. It's amazing to note that an animal needs from 1 to 3 ounces a day, depending on the weather and work. Our mules always get an ounce of corn oil for a shiny coat and digestive tract regularity. Whatever the selection of hay and grain, remember that a mule's stomach is designed for almost constant intake of small quantities of feed, such as when he's grazing on pasture. Large quantities of feed at one time is unhealthy and unnatural. It would be ideal if you could feed your mule small quantities 3 times a day at morning, noon, and night. At least plan for 2 feedings, once in the morning and once in the evening. Make sure you feed at the same time each day. Mules are like people. They love routine and will tell you in no uncertain terms if you're late for their supper. Lastly, keep fresh, clean drinking water on hand at all times. Your mule will drink 10 to 12 gallons a day, and even more in hot weather or at work. You must still watch your mule to see how he holds his condition. Each animal is different, like people, and will need slight changes in the feed to keep him in condition. Use your eyes. Look for shiny hair, bright eyes, good body flesh, a happy attitude, and healthy manure. One of the best examples of how feeding and exercises combine is in a halter class. You may not be able to do much about your mule's conformation, but you can certainly affect his muscling and conditioning. An exercise is necessary to build muscles and develop wind. Your mule should receive some planned exercise each day. Training and exercise can be combined, but keep them in balance. Your mule is getting 45 minutes of training several times a week, but between training sessions, get him out for long, relaxed trail rides where he can walk and trot out. Walking builds muscles, trotting builds muscles and develops wind. Loping will develop wind. A good guide might be to walk for 45 minutes, trot for 10 minutes, and lope for 5 minutes. A mule too young for riding can be lunged for fitness and conditioning. As he becomes better conditioned, you can add cavaletti in the round pen to increase the intensity of his work. I hope you're convinced by now that good feed and exercise are the keys to keeping your mule happy and healthy. Your mule depends upon you for his safety and well-being. The best feed in the world won't keep him in good health if you neglect other important areas, vaccinations and worming. It's up to you to create a program to prevent disease and control parasites. Here are some suggestions for a general health program. Cleanliness is very important. Make sure your own feed boxes are clean and manure is removed from stalls and paddocks. Do not feed hay or grain on the floor or anywhere it may become contaminated with manure. Similarly, small, heavily used pastures tend to build up a heavy parasite load. Pastures should be rotated and harrowed as frequently as possible to break the life cycle of the parasites. Internal parasites are the most common danger to the health and well-being of your mule, and you must be prepared to wage a constant battle to control these worms. Follow your vet's advice to set up a parasite prevention and control program through regular wormings. The drugs today are very effective in removing parasites and breaking the cycle of reinfection. At the Lucky 3 Ranch, we worm every 2 months. And don't forget to watch for bot eggs and remove them immediately. Avoid letting your mule drink from public watering facilities. Use your own clean water buckets. Proper treatment of disease and injuries depends on 2 very important factors: correct diagnosis and knowledge of the proper treatment. Your job is to become familiar with symptoms of diseases. Know what to do in case of sickness or injury before help can arrive. Understand what simple treatments and remedies are safe to follow. Above all, know when to call the veterinarian. There are many resources available to help you learn how to be better prepared, such as books, clinics, and especially advice from an expert such as your own vet. Keep an eye out for anything that might injure your mule and remove it or repair it. Build your own equine first aid kit and learn the proper use of the materials with the help of your veterinarian. Be prepared to handle the situation before the vet arrives. When signs of infectious disease appear, isolate affected animals promptly and call your veterinarian. Follow your vet's recommendations for shots and immunizations and faithfully follow an annual vaccination program. Make sure you keep good records of vaccinations and wormings and be sure to schedule when they're next due. One of the best ways to check out your mule's health is by establishing a daily grooming routine. Not only will he be rewarded with a shiny coat, you can watch for cuts, bruises, and the condition of the feet. The basic grooming tools include a rubber curry comb to rough up the hair and bring the dirt to the surface, a dandy brush to lift out the dirt, a body brush to smooth and shine, a hoof pick to clean the feet, and a mane and tail comb to comb out a matted mane and tail. A sweat scraper is handy to remove excess water after a bath or sweat after a workout. And a grooming cloth can be used to polish the coat and bring out the shine. In the spring, a shedding blade is also nice, and a sponge can be used to clean muddy legs. Begin your routine by using a hoof pick to clean out the feet. It is recommended to work near forefoot, near hind, off fore, off hind. But if your young mule is skittish, work in whatever order he is comfortable. As he becomes accustomed to having his feet cleaned, you can then go back to the proper order. Clean from heel to toe and watch for infections like thrush and rocks or nail injuries. This is also a good time to check his shoes. Mules should be shod or trimmed according to their use about every 6 to 8 weeks. Next, begin grooming the body, starting with the left side of the head. Hold the curry comb in one hand, keeping the other hand free to control your animal. Gently curry in small circular strokes, working your way down and back, ending with the hind leg down to the hock. Next, brush vigorously. After grooming the left side, groom the right side. Brush the head, and comb and brush the mane and tail. Finish with the soft body brush. Finally, use the grooming cloth to wipe around the ears, face, eyes, nose, lips, sheath, and dock of the tail. While paying this much attention to your mule's body, you will be sure to see anything abnormal, like an abscess, a cut, mites, or insects, or a sore. Early discovery and early treatment keep problems small. Mules like to be clean. Bathing your mule every so often will help your mule look better and feel better. They especially like to have all that itchy sweat rinsed off after a good workout. I don't recommend bathing too often with soap because a mule's skin is very sensitive and the soap can irritate it, as well as strip away the essential oils. Most of the time, a good rinse will maintain a clean, healthy coat. Now that your mule is in top condition, you may want to show him off a bit. Be sure to join us next time when we'll talk about showmanship techniques.
Having problems? Need an accessible trainer? Whether you're just a weekend trail rider or showing, the principles of training are the same. You want a safe and reliable equine companion. Produced by Meredith Hodges, Training Mules and Donkeys, a logical approach to long ears, will help you build a good working relationship with your animal. Meredith reveals the secrets of successful maintenance and resistance-free training that can be implemented by anyone, resulting in a satisfying partnership between you and your equine. Meredith answers your training questions promptly via mail or phone. Her books are great general resources and her videos are detailed, outlining the day-to-day exercises needed to produce a versatile and dependable equine companion. Meredith's techniques work with all equines. Do you have children, grandchildren? Check out Jasper, the story of a mule. For more information, check out our website at www.lucky3ranch.com or call 1-800-816-7566.
Mules are working their way into the hearts of people everywhere. If you'd like to know more about these wonderful long-eared animals, you can contact us at 1-800-816-7566 or get on our website at lucky3ranch.com.
Dusty old quilt hung crooked on a couch in an old stone house by a lazy river. Songbirds singing to me like a slow ride